can hear me? Y'all can hear me? What's going on, Temple Line? Can I get some noise? Come on! Man, first and foremost, y'all, I want y'all to give a round of applause for yourself. Y'all looking so smooth in here today. Come on, clap it up, clap it up. And I also want you to give a round of applause for your educators and the amazing students that was able to put this amazing event together. Come on, clap it up for them. Man, I chose to myself and said, I just want to be remembered. I just want to have a dream like Dr. King. I just want to make sure that every single person I come in contact with, I leave an impact. I'm so excited. I'm ecstatic to be here, man. And every time I have an opportunity to speak to students or educators, I don't take it for granted. And the reason why I don't take it for granted, y'all, is because when I was in school, nobody ever came and told me that I can do something. Nobody ever came and told me that it's possible. Nobody ever came and told me that you can achieve and amount to anything that you want. And y'all, although we're talking about Dr. King and although we're talking about a dream, I want you to also understand that as much as I love Dr. King and as much as he's done for humanity, I want you to understand that now it's time for you to live your dream. This is about you today. This is about you being able to take the next step to be great, to be remembered. And so I remember March 25th, 1991 in Rhode Island Hospital. I remember my mom was telling me the story about when I was first coming into this world, y'all. And one of the things that she said, and my mom's from Zebulon, North Carolina, so when she talks, she sounds real Southern country, right? And she sounds something like this. I promise you, if I called her right now, she would sound just like this. Baby, that's how she sound. Baby, what's going on? How you doing? You doing good? I said, yes, ma'am, right? And I remember having a conversation with my mom, and my mom would say something like this. She would say, baby, I remember when we was in Rhode Island Hospital, and the doctor told me, and she said, man, this doctor, he was a Caucasian man, handsome. Oh my God, blue eyes, beautiful. That's how she sounded, y'all. And I'm like, Mom, okay, like, but can you get to the story? She said, I'm gonna get to the story. And what she said, she was like, he was handsome. And the doctor said to my mom, he said, Miss Miles, you can't push right now. And she said, why not? And he said, if you push, there's a chance that your son's not gonna be born tonight. And she said, what? Like, what you mean? Like, my son's not gonna be born tonight? He's gonna pass away? He said, there's a possibility if you push. We got to rush you to the emergency room to perform a C-section. And as we're in this room, I remember my mom looking at the doctor and the doctor looking at my mom. And my mom is literally saying, can I push now, doctor? As she's looking at the doctor with his eyes, his blue eyes. And she's so ecstatic. She's so excited, although she's about to give birth to me. And one of the things that she said is that, William, I'm telling you right now, if I would have pushed, you wouldn't be here today. If I would have pushed, you wouldn't have been born today. And so I remember the doctor taking me out the womb, and my mom said that the doctor simply gave me one hit on the butt. Boom. She said, you didn't say nothing. You was quiet. I was like, doctor, is he dead? As I'm looking at his blue eyes, I'm like, whoo, you still handsome. The doctor had him up again. Boom. Nothing. My mom's still looking at the doctor. Whoo, you handsome. Pull me up again. Boom. My mom said, William, you made such a loud noise. You started yelling. And then I knew you was alive. Then after I knew you was alive, I started talking back to the doctor because he was so handsome. And I remember, y'all, do all of this stuff. I had a conversation with my mother when I got older. And one of the things that I asked her is I said, Mom, when you was going through all of this trial, when you was going through all this tribulation, when you was in the hospital by yourself, I just got one question to ask you. Where was my man? Where was my father? What was he doing? And she said to me, she said, baby, I don't want to have that conversation with you. I said, Mom, I need to know where my dad was. And my mom said, well, William, I'm going to be real with you. Your dad was on a recliner. Your dad was watching a football game. Your dad was hanging out with other people and not taking care of his responsibility, running the streets, getting drunk, not thinking about taking care of what came into this world. And I'll never forget, y'all, that I flew to Rhode Island and had a conversation with my father. And I remember I looked my man in the eye and I said, Dad, I just got one question to ask you, man. I said, how come you wasn't there for me when my mom and me were fighting for our life in the hospital? How come you wasn't there for me when I fell, when I made my first fall? How come you wasn't there for me when I took my first step? How come you wasn't there for me when my first tooth come in? Where was you? And out of everything that he said, this is what he said, y'all. He said, William, your mother. I said, Yeah, you can't, come on, man. Like you a grown man and you're talking about my mother? I said, that's not the answer that I'm looking for, but if that's the answer that you're going to give me, I'll take it because I've done some research on you, Dad. And one of the things that I realized about you, Dad, is that I really can't blame you because your dad wasn't in your life. I said, I can't blame you because my grandfather's dad wasn't in his life. And so from that day forward, I made a decision to myself. I said, at the end of the day, I don't want to live just to exist, but I want to live to be remembered. And so I remember saying to myself, I said, when my children come into this world, I'm going to be present. When my children come into this world, I'm going to make sure that I'm there for them. When my children come into this world, I'm going to make sure that based on the decisions that I make, they're going to reap the benefits of it. And so I remember Harmony, I was there. Jamon, I was there. Aiden, I was there. All of my children that came into this world, I was in the hospital room. All my kids that came into the world, I changed their diapers. All my kids that came into the world, I hugged them. I seen them fall. I seen their first two come in because I made a decision to myself and say, whatever my dad did, that's what he did. But I refuse to be average. I refuse to be a statistic. By statistics, I should be locked up. By statistics, I should be selling drugs. By statistics, I should be doing things that most individuals who are average do. But I just chose to myself and said, I just want to be remembered. I just want to have a dream like Dr. King. I just want to make sure that every single person I come in contact with, I leave an impact.